Damn, Apollo, you crazy.
And that's why I hold my breath at times where I should speak up. That's why I say my health is bad when you wanna leak up. Cause the stress is hard to hide, but I move with pride and ride for my guys and die. Know that I'm a blessed times, but know that I'm out here trying.
Yeah, I made it out that mud, made it out that dirt. Going harder for my dreams while I'm still on this earth. Had to step into that mosque and step away from church. On my way back to Allah, I know that I deserve. Had to pay up for my sins, lessons that I learned. Had to give and sacrifice before my life was turned. And now I know that 90 bitches made me more than merch. And I keep pushing to the end, even though it hurt. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. Cause when I lost my dog, I thought it was the end. When Trevor lost his life, it was just the beginning. When I see Frankie fall, I couldn't fucking breathe. Look, why'd you take my dogs and leave the pain with me? Cause I've been fighting back these tears, Lord. No longer feel my death, but only feel God. I watched them turn to angels, now they watching over me. That pain will fade away, my only choice is to succeed. With Apollo, I'ma take off to the moon. See my dogs in the sky, I'll be coming home soon. Taking my shot, and now that life is so new. Knew I would make it out doing what I'm supposed to. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. I'm just trying to find my way out. Way out.
Move with pride and ride for my guys and die. Know that I'm a mess at times, but know that I'm out here trying.
Oh man, what's going on, everybody? How's everyone doing out there? Today is Thursday, December 19th, 2024. I just gotta start off from the top and apologize. There has just been a freaking smorgasbord of shit. Got Nate G coming in with the fellas. It's just fella, but what's up, Nate? Smorgasbord of shit going on where, my computer's been acting up a little bit, so there goes the show. It's too full, have to clear it out. I need a better computer or something going on. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I am much better. I shouldn't need 1,000 cough drops. It's just on top of that, sometimes I pass the fuck out laying next to my kids. So combination of that means that I have been an absolutely terrible streamer lately, and David has been a workaholic. So the combination of that has made it tough to do this, but I am going to try to be better. Going to try and be a little more organized. Tonight I put out the episode beforehand, have it scheduled, maybe force myself to jump on a little more, going to try and work it out. First things first, I got to thank Jennifer Say for the swag here. Let's get this microphone out of the way for a second. Look at that. XXXY Athletics. Jennifer is awesome. Sent David and myself some stuff. So pumped about it. If everyone has not gone and grabbed themselves some XXXY stuff, go to that website, go to their website and grab it. It's really cool. The material is really nice. It's good stuff. Logo is great. Also sent me a girl dad hat, which I love. I've been wearing that everywhere. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, XXXY. Fantastic. Love it. Nate G coming in with the perfect timing. My buddy just got back from Texas with a case of Lone Star, aka Nectar of the Gods from the Motherland. Yes. And Nate, no apologies needed, amigo. Glad I'm back. Take care of business. Yes, thank you. Enjoy the babies. Yes. Trying to do it all. Always appreciate you jumping on, and everyone that's watching. And on that note, wherever you're watching from, whether it's X, Facebook, Kick, YouTube, we appreciate it all. Go, please do your due diligence. Repost and follow if you're on X. Share this and follow if you're on Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, smash that like button. And the most important thing is to spread word of mouth about the show and let everyone know that we are here. We are doing our thing. We're having some fun. We're going to talk some, news, current, some not so current events because it's been that freaking long, and things that I feel are important. So I'm going to have some fun. as always. And if you're listening on podcast form, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, wherever you are, we appreciate you as well. Give us a good review, leave a comment on there. And again, greatly appreciated. Tonight's going to be fun. Like I said, trying to get through the show without cough drops, just my trusty water bottle here. I'll be taking a sip of water every once in a while. But outside of that, trying to get through without the cough drops and hopefully going to be able to do that. So, quick preamble Epstein client list, still have to get that out there. Again, January 20th can't come soon enough. Hopefully, Cash Patel will get that done. But if not, I'm going to stay ringing that bell here. Helene and Milton victims, we need to continue to work our asses off to help them. Send them whatever you can. If you have spare change, I know it's tough right now. We're all buying gifts. We're all strapped for cash. But overall, if you're out and you see something on clearance, if it's like a kid's winter jacket or something, or pants, or whatever you can do, sending over gloves, a hat. I mean, we have a cool little warehouse store by us here where it's all like, it's not the legit stuff. It's kind of knockoff, but if you can grab something like that, find an organization, send it down to them. It'll be huge. These people in North Carolina and all the other disaster areas that have been affected aren't getting as much help from FEMA as they should, and we should be the ones picking them up. So please do what you can there. And going on that, we need to continue to demand transparency of the FEMA shit with the Trump supporters. It seems like that's been memory hold already. We can't let that get memory hold. We need to continue to talk about it. And that's another thing. If your favorite streamer, if you're on and you're listening to somebody else, kind of ask them, be like, hey, ever get any updates on that FEMA transparency stuff? And see what they say. Get them talking about it. The more of us talk about it, the more that they can't ignore it. We found that out on X, recently, over the last few nights with the continuing resolution and how powerful a bunch of voices could be. And we'll definitely get to that CR tonight. But we need to make sure our voices are all heard. So please go out there and keep on talking about it. I will always throw my support behind Moms for Liberty. They're freaking awesome. Whatever you could do there, if you could just go and, buy merchandise from them, go do that. If that's what you want to do. If you want to donate $1, but Moms for Liberty is doing great stuff. Love Tina Deskovich, Tiffany Justice over there. They're fantastic. And lastly, we're getting to the holiday season. We're all joyous that Trump is going to be inaugurated on the 20th, God willing, but we cannot let up. Continue to search your local elections. Continue to find out how you can help, because the leftists are not letting up. They are going to continue to fight. They're going to continue to try to win all these small local elections, whether it's school board, whether it's council, whether it's mayor, it doesn't matter what it is, small local things. They're going to try and win. And they're going to keep on trying to indoctrinate and push their things at the cultural lower level. And that's where we need to continue to fight. So please, 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 please do not let up. Continue to battle, join a committee, do something like that. Anyway, let's jump into the fun stuff tonight. I am going to lead off. We're gonna switch it up. Normally we start off with some politics. I am gonna lead off with some nerdy stuff. Now, I don't know if I should show this with sound or not. The new Superman trailer, I don't know if I'm gonna get flagged and taken down for that. So we're gonna have the Superman trailer up, and if to be safe, we are going to play it with no sound just so we can get a look at it. I know it might be dumb as shit without the sound. Actually, screw it. We're too small of a stream to care. We're playing it with sound. If we get taken down, we get taken down. Nate, you coming in. So much shit happened. Destiny leaks, drone, Tim Pool selling out. There's been a lot going on. The Destiny leaks, I don't give a shit about Destiny. I really don't. The drone stuff we found out is kind of much ado about nothing, but I think there's a little more there than what we're doing. And Tim Pool, listen, Tim Pool's been a net positive in this whole battle, being a former Bernie bro and stuff that has come around and been really strong on a lot of things. He's bringing everything down. He's bringing down his operation. He doesn't want to be, I guess, as involved as he has been. And, that's his prerogative. He's done a ton. He's gotten a lot of fame, gotten a lot of money, done a lot of that stuff. I get it. But, he's done a lot of shit. So if Tim Pool wants to kind of sell assets off, if he wants to sell to somebody and, he might reap, the benefits of more time and maybe not get the money he did or not have the influence he does. But as of now, the other night he just had Ron Coleman on. Like Ron Coleman's fucking dope. He's still gonna get cool guests. He's gonna have people to talk to. So, and he's still one of the biggest podcasts in the whole space. So what we shall see. But we're gonna play the Soups trailer with sound. Fuck it. If we get flagged, we get flagged. It is what it is. Maybe I should wait to do this later, but I'm just gonna do it, and I want everyone's opinions on how they feel about this one. So let's get this going. Let's watch this Superman trailer. So maybe I'll talk over it a little bit just so we don't get super flagged. We're watching Soups there. Lois Lane, we got our first look at her. James Gunn obviously being promoted. I think, he looks the part. They're doing a good job with the Superman there. Weird scene to see Soups all sorts of fucked up there. But when I saw him whistle here, I got fucking hyped watching this. I knew exactly what was happening. And I actually thoroughly enjoyed this part. There's Crypto. I fucking love Crypto the Superdog.
Take me home.
And the inclusion of Crypto, I think it's fantastic. And Superman doing Superman things is good too, obviously. Mixed about Lex. We'll talk about Lex afterwards. Being right there, like kid holding up the Superman flag, praying for him. You can see what that is and everything. I mean, you got all these different characters, like they said, Crypto, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, this is terrific. But there's so much here. Crypto doing Crypto things is freaking awesome. A little weird on the multiple scenes here of him. So I have had mixed feelings on all of this. Let me stop sharing here. I have had absolute mixed feelings on all this, and the more I watch it, it's weird because some of it I think looks fucking great, right? I think some of it looks dope, and I think some of it looks like it was shot like shit. Now I'm hoping we get more trailers and it looks better. Overall, it intrigues me. It makes me, this trailer, I would 100% go see the movie. Based off this trailer alone, I want to see it. I want to see more. Like Nate said, I'm going to throw this in there. Crypto, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, and his biggest hype, Mr. Terrific. There's a lot there. And that's also part of the concern a little is there too much? You could see James Gunn is trying to go for a little bit of what they did in Marvel where, yes, it's a Superman movie, but here's all these other people coming in. Obviously, you're going to need a big bad. Lex Luthor is going to be the original big bad. He's the guy, right? But then you see all these other individuals brought in. And, James Gunn has done a good job with these smorgasbord characters. Obviously, Guardians, the 3 Guardians were really good. He saved Suicide Squad by making the second one. Nobody remembers the first one. He's done good things with these groups. So there is faith there. I love that it's a brighter Superman, that we're getting away from the Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder grittiness. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the grittiness of them. Snyder, I wasn't so high on. I wasn't as big of a fan of some of the things he did, but that style isn't terrible. The Batman was still good. And that's in this universe. The Penguin is obviously very gritty, right? But Soups has that brightness about him. And, Truth, Justice, the American Way. Like, this kind of looks like that. You're seeing Guy Gardner looks pretty goofy a little bit, But the campiness comes with the superhero style. Nate G also saying, still a little torn on Clark Kent broccoli hair. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I think everyone's going to get a little bit of a twist. He doesn't necessarily look 100% like the Boy Scout. He does have the cleft chin. He's big, he's big, strong, and muscular. The hair, when he's in Superman mode, I think he's fine. I'm okay with him having a little bit different hair as Clark. Luthor Corp, yeah, that is something to nitpick. It's LexCorp. That is something to nitpick, Nate. I agree. When I saw Luthor Corp across there, it's LexCorp. Obviously, Liberty's taken there. It's a minor thing, but for a nerd, it is a big deal. But overall, like I don't know whether to like or not like the trailer. I really don't. I'm kind of torn. Again, we got all the Easter eggs, and it could be great with everyone that they have involved, but it could also be disastrous. So, but I was hyped about it. When I saw it, I thought it was good. I thought DC's did a pretty good job. The S stands for hope. Yes. Yeah, Nate, the S does stand for it. But, I thought DC did a pretty good job with, coming back from that first look where Soups is kind of sitting there putting the boot on and the suit looks like shit. And some of the stills kind of looked when we were getting them leaked out from the set. But then to come back with that poster the other day, which people got criticism, right? But it looked cool with all the swirling and looked like he was flying fast. And you had kind of the slower John Williams sounding Superman there. And then to come out with the little teaser, that 30-second little clip with that same music, and kind of you get a little glimpse of Lois and some stuff going on. And now for this full 2-minute, 22-second trailer to now have the more rocking riff of the classic John Williams Superman sound. I mean, it was well done. Well done by DC, because something, whether you liked it or didn't like it, for the last week, we've been talking about Superman. We have not been talking about anything else. We've been talking about Superman and that looks good. That doesn't look good. That 30 seconds. Do we like the teaser to the teaser? What do we think of the trailer? It's everyone's talking about it in this space, and it's left, it's right. It doesn't matter. So DC did a good job. James Gunn did a good job in that way. Nate G, I totally agree. Glad they fixed his suit up in post. Absolutely. And you know what? There was never a doubt. They weren't going to let him sit there and have a friggin' suit that was flopping all around. Like, right? We always knew that they were going to tighten it up in post. It was a kind of off shot that they didn't brush up, and maybe it was, a suit that wasn't fully done. They were just kind of, I don't know. It was weird that it got released, but I thought DC actually did a good job, and they gave the nerds something to talk about, whether you like it or dislike it. I see a lot of people like, oh, this looks like it was shot for the CW. I don't think that. I think some of it's me, but I think a lot of it looks good. So we'll see. They'll obviously let out more trailers. It comes out July 11th. It comes out. So we have a little bit of time. Nate G, is Pattinson supposed to be the Batman of this universe? See, I don't know if he is. I know that Pattinson and Penguin are apparently in the same universe. They approved the Clayface, which I don't know how the fuck that's going to work, a Clayface movie. So we'll see. And Clayface is supposed to be in that whole universe as well. I'd imagine this is going to be that Soups, right? Because you're also introducing some other people. So it's going to be interesting. They need to improve on Pattinson's Batman, because there is the criticisms there about him kind of being like a bumbling idiot sometimes. But it overall got high ratings. I will admit, I still have not seen Pattinson's Batman. Shame on me. I need to, because it did look interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how they bring these worlds together, because obviously Pattinson's Batman was much grittier and this Superman looks much brighter. So we'll see how they blend them together. But overall, good job, DC. Rare that I've said that over the last, God, I don't know, 10 years. But good job, DC. This does not look like the kind of thrown together Snyder shit. It doesn't look like, we're getting the introduction force fed in a way. This looks like it could be something like it's a good pacing and things like that. So we'll see. It's a lot to kind of base off a trailer, but we'll see. Nate, I wasn't overwhelmed with Pattinson. I heard Pattinson overall did a good job as Batman, but it seems like the direction wasn't great in terms of how they wanted him to be and the way the story was. So we'll see. I hope they bring back Ben Affleck. If we're not going to lie, I want Ben Affleck, but that's just me. That's just me. That's who I want because I think he was an amazing Batman. But we shall see. So we're going to jump in to another nerd topic. We're going nerd topics off the gun right here. That's where we're rolling. So just a quick little X post here. I'm not diving into the story. Just going to kind of give my opinion on this story here. So the X post reads from IGN, Borderlands 4's narrative designer wants less toilet humor this time. Now, I am not a massive Borderlands fan. But I played them before. My brothers played a ton. I watched him. I played them. Part of the humor is that kind of shit. This was a kind of weird world, and it kind of felt like gamers could kind of just like enjoy it because it did have a lot of that kind of campy, childish toilet humor. It seemed like it was a game meant for dudes just to fucking dude out and just not care. And I don't understand the direction with this and why. George Alex Apple's G Prime right off the top here. I didn't even mean to read his, but he goes, every quest will begin and end with important conversations about the rise of fascism and the need for gun control. Yeah, it's something. I mean, you're taking the life out of the game. Like you're taking part of what the game was. Part of the enjoyment is kind of getting these little offhanded, goofy laughs at some dumb shit like that. And now what are you going to make it? Like you already hurt the brand mightily by making that fucking terrible movie. Like, the brand was irreparably hurt there. But, you maybe could have saved it with a good game. And now you're going to fundamentally change something about the game. It's almost as if these studios and these, game designers and people like that and narrative designers just have not been paying attention to a single fucking thing that has gone on in the industry. That gamers just want their games. They just want their games. And Borderlands has a thing. It has a shtick. It is constant with that. And now what are you going to make it? Just a regular blase type of fucking game? A same thing that it doesn't stand out really at all in its genre? Enjoy destroying your brand and not making a lot of money. Maybe getting an initial pop because you're going to have your Borderlands fanboys and fangirls that buy it. And then after that initial pop, we're going to watch the tank because people are going to realize this is shit. Because Borderlands wasn't, from what I remember and playing it a little bit and watching, it had a fun story, wasn't, blowing you away. Wasn't like BioShock or something like that. Had a fun story. It had that toilet humor that was constant and in your face and funny. You got cheap laughs out of it. And it had pretty good gameplay. But it was like one thing that set it apart was that. And now the creative directors just want to say, fuck it. We don't care. We don't care. And that is going to bring me to our next topic because I'm done with Borderlands. Our next topic, and this is from a few days ago. This is from the 14th. But Fandom Pulse, John Trent has the Witcher 4, EP, the Witcher 4 fucking executive producer, admits CD Projekt Red is aiming for new players and people who do not play our games. What does that even mean? So we don't want our fan base that we have built over the last 3 games to return. We don't want the fan base that was built over reading books that enjoyed our games to return. We don't want the fan base who enjoyed season 1 and part of 2 and fucking hated 3 to come back. We want new players, aka that quote unquote modern audience that they have been trying to find. So now let's go into the story here. Again, written by our buddy, former guest John F. Trent. Malgrazada Mitriega, the executive producer for CG Product Red's The Witcher 4, admitted the company is aiming for new players with the game. Go away. In an interview with IGN discussing The Witcher 4 following the release of its announcement trailer at the Game Awards, Mitriega said, "We want to aim for new players." She elaborated. The wider audience and also the people that know the franchise, but who maybe do not play our games. And that's a look at Ciri as a quote-unquote Witcher. Ooh, Ciri's now the big leader here. This approach will seemingly not only affect the story, will affect not only the story, but the gameplay in the game. So again, when you are coming to play The Witcher, you're not going to get The Witcher. Now, granted, Witcher 3 was a break off from Witcher 1 and 2, and it was, an RPG that really wasn't an RPG. Granted, I know there was criticisms of 3, and well-deserved and merited criticisms. But what the fuck? Like, this is completely and totally going in the opposite direction. So let's keep going. Game director Sebastian Kalemba explained, "We create story-driven games, so we want to make sure that the people that buy games for story, they'll be able to experience the story in their own way, and they will be simply able to approach it. But people that are looking for a specific challenge, they will also be able to experience a story in a challenging way," he added. So what does that even mean? That there's going to be a super easy hold your hand mode and then an actual challenging mode? Or is it just going to all be the hold your hand bullshit that we've been used to seeing in all these games? Where, oh, I'm stuck. Let me press X and boo, there's a little thing that shows me how to get there. And it's or these puzzles are easy because that's, the one thing I heard about Indy is Indiana Jones is a new one, The Great Circle, or the fuck its name, terrible name. But I heard it's a fun game. It's died in terms of player, people playing it, which is crazy considering it's a decent game. But I heard that the gameplay is fun. It's good. It's a good game, but the puzzles are easy. Maybe we're going to get shit like that in The Witcher. Let's keep going a little here. In regards to the story, Kalemba claims the company wants to put player agency, sorry about that, put player agency at the center, and that's seemingly why they chose to make Ciri the main protagonist. So wait a minute. How is making a person who was never the Witcher, taking away Geralt, who is the titular character, the lead character of The Witcher since every fucking book, and then making Ciri, putting player agency at the center? Why? Because it's a woman and not a man? Like, and this is even dumber. We want to let the players try to define her, he explained. No, motherfucker, she's defined. There are books written with this character in it. She is a well-defined character in the world. You do not have to redefine Ciri. Let's continue. She's about to form her own codex on her own terms. The way she actually deals with the monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, and her own unique way. Read the books. That's all I gotta say. Read the fucking books. You'll find out how she handles this shit. It's written. It's still Geralt's story. Ciri's there. You know all about Ciri. She's not a new character. He continued, "We're giving more tools for players' disposal to be able to not only play and go with the consequences narratively, but also gameplay-wise. We want to give players more opportunities to be able to feel that they define their experience." I mean, I guess. Did you really want to go and define your own experience? If that's why are you playing that game? You play The Witcher to be a Witcher. You play that game to do the job of a Witcher, kill fucking monsters, be hated by the people because you're a Witcher, and your people are dwindling, and that's what you play it for. And you also play as Geralt to go fuck bitches. Is Ciri going to go get plowed over left and right? I doubt they're going to do that. I doubt she's going to participate in the sexcapades that Geralt did. Because that wouldn't be right. That's not feminist enough. Maybe she'll just be a giant whore. I don't know what the fuck the feminists want anymore. But this type of shit doesn't make sense. These are people that I don't know if they're making games for anyone anymore. Nate coming in, CJ and Rockstar are cooked. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Nate coming back in. If there is good news on the CD front, they're releasing a physical copy of Gwent. I mean, I guess that's good news. Sure. You get the physical copy, and that's nice. But I mean, fuck these people. Let's keep going. Speaking specifically to the gameplay, Kalemba shared, "I believe the gameplay in Cyberpunk 2077 was more varied than that of Witcher 3. Yeah, they're different games for sure. And it'll add more freedom when it comes to creating character builds and being able to experience encounters in your own way. This is something we definitely want to bring as a lesson to Witcher 4. So again, you're comparing two different games. And now you want to like, and again, it's not bad to kind of steal pieces from other games. Everyone does it. But if you want to fundamentally change, and again, The Witcher 3 was a departure from 1 and 2. Granted. And, if anything, go back to what you were doing in 1 and 2 more. That's what people wanted. We want to improve on Witcher 3's gameplay, but we want to improve the alignment of the way you're able to explore the world, he said. I mean, and that's the end of it. Like, these people that are being trusted to make these games have no fucking clue what they're doing. And it's obvious that maybe they do have a clue and they're still just so dense and so caught up in their own shit and sniffing their own farts that they don't realize or they don't care that they're just burning all of their goodwill and all their properties to the ground. Again, The Witcher, outside of the books, are fucked. They're fucked because the show's terrible. And again, this is similar to Borderlands. The Witcher 4 could have been a reprieve for the fans. It could have been a reprieve for the fans to sit there and go, hey, season 3's balls, but we have another good game to turn back to. No, now you're going to go play a series. This game's going to bomb. It better be fucking great. If it's not great, if it's not, industry changing, it's going to bomb. So, I mean, this is the type of shit that bothers me. And this is the type of shit that kind of got me out of gaming. Is that, it started off with loot crates. And I mean, it started off with, the loot boxes, selling broken games. And now, I can't even get back into gaming because the whole entire industry is still fucked. So Nate come back and I mean, they're releasing physical decks of Gwent. I was a big Gwent slut before they killed it and sent the maintenance mode. I mean, that's sick. But it's like, Nate, is it going to be enough to save The Witcher as a brand? Because again, they're trying to kill it. They're trying to kill it. They are trying to kill, another beloved series of, I just can't understand. Because I started reading the books and I fucking love the books. The books are so freaking good. I mean, Andrzej Sapkowski created such a fun world, and it was so different in the way it's done. Like hunting monsters is normal, but he stood alone. But it's like, Nate, you going, if I want to define a character, I'll play a sandbox game. Exactly. When you play The Witcher, you want a kind of, yes, you can make it free-ish, but you still want a linear story, right? Like you want Skyrim, not in Skyrim, because Skyrim is sandbox, but more of, that was a bad example, but more of like a BioShock. You want something where it's like, sure, you have a little bit of leniency where you go, but it's linear. There's a direction. You know where you're going. There's a story to follow. There's not much more to do on the sides. That's what we want. We want to be able to go places, kill monsters. And if they can't deliver that, then what are they doing? And Nate says, no way, not even close. No, it's not going to be able to save them. And look what they did to Henry Cavill. Yeah. And now Henry's going to do Warhammer 40K and seems like he's won some battles there. And that's going ahead. So hopefully Warhammer is going to be good. And, but again, it's Games Workshop. Games fucking sucks. So we'll see what goes on there. Give me a second to go cough on the side, friends. Give me one moment. Not half as bad as they have been. Haha. What I found, though, is fucking coughing for 4 weeks fucks your ribs up. My left side of my ribs, every time I cough, I'm surprised I haven't broken one yet, but I haven't had the coughing fits as bad. Been kind of resisting them. But man, coughing really hurts the ribs after a while. I don't know how people have like constant coughs, like especially old people, just don't have shattered ribs because my left ones are sore as can be and legitimately hurting at times. So, but enough of me being a bitch. We're going to keep going because there's something else I want to touch on. I kind of put this in the nerdy world because this is kind of the nerds being stupid about it. And this is old news, but our beloved Sydney Sweeney was caught by paparazzi. And this was the caption and the opinion of a lot of people. Captive Dreamer, I think, is the one that got the most. He has 37.7 million views on this. And it says this should be illegal. This is what causes misogyny. Now let's click on this. That is Sydney Sweeney all done up and dolled up. These are the paparazzi photos. What do we see? What do we see? She's a normal looking woman with large breasts. She's never really had much of an ass. And she's still fairly pretty, if not good looking. I don't understand the need to just sit there as some of these guys who are just fucking bitches to just knock all these women down. And the stupid ones, mid. Like, they're all gay. I don't think a single guy that is commenting on this saying she's ugly or she's mid is straight. I'm calling them all out. I think you're all gay. Because if you saw this woman on a beach at a pool, you would think she's a fucking smoke show. But because she's not all done up with makeup, wearing a dress given to her with her hair done perfectly, you're going to say she's mid because this, and people trying to say Sydney Sweeney's not good looking. They're out of their fucking mind. Sydney Sweeney's a good looking woman. Is she the most gorgeous woman in the world? No. Does she have the biggest boobs in the world? No. But she's a good looking woman, and she's capitalizing on being a hot blonde and using her youth and using her looks. But to sit there and say that this woman, who is also Sydney Sweeney, isn't a good looking woman as well, is disingenuous, because the bottom line is, what you are telling me when you say, oh, this causes misogyny, is that either you've never had a serious girlfriend or a wife who, we always talk about, hey, we clean up nice. What that means is that when we try to look good, we look better than we normally do. That's kind of what cleaning up nice is. That's what we all talk about, right? And what's it telling me is that either these individuals commenting on this don't have a serious girlfriend or wife who they have never seen get all dolled up. And, they look a little different. They look really hot. They look good. But then during the day, they're walking around in a fucking your t-shirt and shorts with a messy bun and no makeup, and they're still good looking. That's what they're telling me, is that they've never been in that serious situation or relationship. And if they haven't, if they are, then they're probably shitty fucking husbands. Then they're just not good people who are sitting there, and they're the ones that are probably bringing their spouses down. So I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like the whole Sydney Sweeney shit is so fucking bad. And, Captive Dreamer is an asshole. He has 58,000 followers. I mean, I don't get it. This causes misogyny. What a dumbass. Like, she's good looking. And these people don't know how to deal with good looking people. And the unfortunate part is, it seems like Sydney Sweeney is not a moron completely either. She's not like a super beast and things like that, but she kind of stays away and avoids all the crazy leftist bullshit. She might make a comment that's a little on the left, but she's not a moron. She knows where her fan base is. She knows who she is. And I just want to address just how fucking stupid this is. Nate G telling me, try some honey fermented garlic. Didn't try that, but I have local honey I've been, eating with honey fermented garlic. That's different. I got to look for that. And Nate G saying she's hot in all of them. Yes. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney's a good looking woman. And all these dudes just need to get over it because they're all fucking lame. But all right, going from Sydney Sweeney being hot to something going on today that I find to be so fucking stupid. So let's jump to this post. So I've talked in the past, and David kind of laughs at me when I do, about how the athletic reporter, Diana Rossini, hold on. So Ray DeNabales said, wait, that's her? Thought she'd look old and ugly from what I heard. She's hot there too. Exactly, Rye. Or Rye. Am I saying right? Correct me. Ray or Rye? It seems like Rye maybe. But yes, that's what she looks like. Let me go back to that real quick for you because I was fucking amazed too. This is what they are claiming is mid. This is what they are claiming is ugly. Again, you see this girl at a beach wearing this exact bikini, thong bikini. You're thinking she's a fucking smoke and you're trying to get her number. Hopefully you're single when you do that. Don't cheat. Don't be an asshole. But yes, this is what they're calling fucking old and ugly looking. So I digress. Okay. Jumping back to this. So people have heard me talk about Diana Rossini and her kind of, she's a senior reporter for the NFL from The Athletic, and her kind of vendetta against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and specifically Aaron Rodgers, because while Aaron Rodgers was doing the whole entire dance of whether or not he's coming to the Jets, she claimed to have sources, and he flat out was like, I don't fucking talk to her. She doesn't have my number. I don't talk to Diana Rossini. Since then, she has been on a fucking rampage trying to, and not frequently, she's been pretty bad lately, but throughout these last 2 years, trying to break stories to make Aaron Rodgers look bad, to make the Jets look bad. And I have just been calling her now. She is the Manish Mehta of this generation. Now, today, Zach Rosenblatt, and Mike Silver dropped this story. Now, I do have to say, for the most part, I don't know who Mike Silver is. I have no idea who the fuck Mike Silver is. Maybe I should. But yeah, he's a national columnist. I don't know who he is. I've typically liked Zach Rosenblatt and his reporting for the Jets. And, this is now the second story that him and Diana Rossini are attached to. And the second story that is coming out to be mostly full of shit. And I know Zach is probably going to defend Diana. I know he's probably friendly with Diana. But I will say this to Zach Rosenblatt. And I don't know you, but I've liked your reporting from the Jets standpoint for the most part. And while you guys are maybe thinking that this is a relationship where you're both going to get something out of it, that you're each going to get more traction, you being a good reporter for The Athletic, her being a reporter, her being a senior reporter, a known commodity, you growing more known as well. Zach, she's fucking using you, man, to gain clout because you are liked in the Jets community. You are liked in the Jets community. You're respected, and people will take what you report seriously. And Diana Rossini is using your name attached to it in order to get more clout and to make her reports that are bullshit seem serious. That's it. So let's see some of the stuff that they are claiming. And there's a few of these here. So work with me. It started off with this from The Athletic. Woody Johnson soured on his franchise QB less than a year after betting everything on him. He denigrated his own players in the locker room, and his teenage son's influence seems to be growing. And then there's a quote here. When we're discussing things, you'll hear Woody cites something that Brick or Jack read online that's being weighed equally against whatever opinion someone else in the department has. Jets executive to The Athletics, Mike Silver, Zach Rosenblatt, Diana Rossini. That started up an absolute fucking shitstorm. And then it came out that there's Joe Douglas, who was fired, obviously, by Woody Johnson, has been coming out and saying a whole lot of shit, and that it's not only Douglas, it's his PR team. I will say this. Robert Saleh, since he's been fired, has kind of been quiet. If Joe Douglas is seriously coming out and trying to CYA because he had a fucking awful tenure as the Jets GM, and I was behind Douglas for so much. I supported him. I defended him. But if this is really what he's doing, then he's a fucking snake in the grass. And I hope he comes out and I hope he refutes everything that they reported in this, that he put his name on it. Because it's coming out that a lot of this stuff is absolute bullshit. So that started with that. Then Diana Rossini puts out her own post here. And let's share this tab. Diana Rossini. Woody Johnson nixed a trade for Jerry Jeudy last offseason because he felt his Madden rating was too low. Sources describe his impulse over involvement as the root of Jets dysfunction. More with Zach Rosenblatt, Mike Silver, and this is a quote, excerpt from The Athletic. Douglas told the Broncos that Johnson didn't want to make the trade because the owner felt that Jody's player rating in Madden NFL, the popular video game, wasn't high enough. The Athletic, Zach Rosenblatt, Diana Rossini, Mike Silver. So there's that. Apparently, that's what was legitimate, right? And that's what was reported. But let me see if I can find it, because that's already been fucking refuted. Okay? There's already been a refutation of that. because that is fucking batshit. I don't care what you think about. Now, let me go back to that. Sorry. I don't care what you think about Woody Johnson, that you may think that he's the biggest moron ever, that he's a terrible owner, all this stuff, this and that. To actually believe that a guy that's owned a team for this long, that's made a lot of moves, that's brought in some good fucking players, right? It's not like he's brought in all trash. It's not, he's trusted his GMs. He's given his GMs basically as much money as they want. Apparently, that's not there either. They have a thing that the Bobs came in and the Bobs are controlling things money wise. Yeah, we've seen that. They went and fucking paid Aaron Rodgers. They got Devontae Adams. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm sorry. This type of stuff bothers me. And the fact that the Jets brass and the Jets Twitter is going crazy over this. And I'm trying to find the refutation from somebody who's actually reputable and not named fucking Diana Rossini, who is coming out to be such a shill because she dislikes fucking Aaron Rodgers and now the Jets. Keep working with me here. I'm looking for it. But overall, that was one thing there. I'll find the refutation in a second. I'll keep searching for it. But then there is this also follow-up with it. Joe Douglas had a trade lined up for the Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. The owner did his own research on Madden and decided Jeudy wasn't worth the price, the source said. So at The Athletic right there, doubling down on that. Doubling down. Now again, we have since found out, and God, I'm trying to find where it is. I have a tab for like all my favorite sports teams, and fucking the Nets are on, and so are the Devils. So they are flooding this, and I forget who reported it, and it's driving me crazy. But like I said, it has been since refuted, and it is wild to me that they continue with this. But I believe, there's one more here. We'll share this real quick. So when the Jets traded Zach Wilson to the Broncos, Denver asked for the final pick of April's draft, 257th overall in the deal. Woody Johnson told Joe Douglas to trade number 256 instead. He wanted to pick the next Brock Purdy. Now, first off, why is that a fucking story? Why is that a part of the story? Who cares? 256 to 257. Why is that even a big deal? Why is that even being reported on? Right? It's like, we really couldn't have went without sitting there, and that's part of the report. That's how you need to know that there was nothing serious about this. This report is not a serious report. Diana Rossini is on a fucking revenge path. And the bottom line is, Jets Twitter reacts to everything. And sometimes they react idiotically. And this is one of those times where I think that they just absolutely reacted like morons. Because we're looking at it, and how much of this is even believable? Really? How much of this is believable that he used Madden ratings and that he really wanted to make that trade, and he's letting his sons dictate what is being done inside the franchise? Like, come on. And you got to remember, Woody's the owner, but also Chris Johnson has a say. His brother has a say. You think Chris is going to let Woody just do everything and let his sons take over? Like, can we think a little bit? Can we fucking use our brains a little bit on this? And this is at the same time where they're interviewing people for GM, and that people were pretty happy about the interviews. I saw that Jim Nagy came in. Jim Nagy came in, and people are actually pumped. He's the director of the Senior Bowl, and they're like, hey, this is a little outside the box. This is pretty cool. As I'm still trying to look for this fucking rep, it's making me look bad. And I probably should have been prepared. As I'm preparing for the show, I didn't think I was going to go into this, but let's see. Maybe the Jets press has it. Maybe they posted something on it here. Because again, this ran roughshod today that this story was there. And I mean, I just can't. It's wild. maybe it's Brian Costello. I think Kaz had it. Yes, I think it might be Kaz. Here we go. Here we go. So let's share this stat. Brian Costello, who is, a respected reporter. Here's my understanding on Jerry Judy after speaking to several sources with direct knowledge. Woody Johnson did not kill the trade. The Jets' offer was a fourth than Allen Lazard. The Broncos did not want Allen Lazard. Did Woody bring up Madden ratings? Yes, but not as a reason to nix the trade. So it could have been tongue-in-cheek, is what we're finding out. And here's the thing. Anytime I see Diana Rossini's name attached to anything now, when it has to do with the Jets, I automatically think it's bullshit. I do. Because I know where her head's at. And again, Zach Rosenblatt, I hope you run. I hope you run, because this is now the second report that's kind of getting picked apart. And that, caused a firestorm in the beginning. But now we're starting to realize is fucking nothing. That there is nothing to this report. And some of the things that are reported in there are stupid anyway. Oh, he wanted to keep the final Mr. Irrelevant because he wanted to potentially get his own Brock Purdy. Okay. So what? So what? Why not? It's 256, 257. Who cares? Is that really that big of a deal? Yeah, it might be stupid, but is that big of a deal? And the fact that he brought up Madden ratings, why is that not, whatever? Obviously, they flat out said he didn't nix a trade. So something's got to give, because the Jets did put out a statement saying that Woody Johnson's sons have had nothing to do with the organization's decisions. And I think, why do we have to put that out? He shouldn't have to put that out. We should use our fucking brains here. We should. So that's my Jets rant, because it was stupid. And Jets Twitter needs to have a little more discernment, because I mean, whenever Diana Rossini reports something, just automatically don't believe it. She is the Manish Mehta of this generation. And it is The Athletic. Let's be real here. Who's paying for their fucking articles? Who is? So let's dial it down with Diana Rossini, everybody. Every time she reports something, treat it as false until proven otherwise. I think we've learned this. Her last two reports have been bullshit. So yeah, no. Done with Diana Rossini, obviously, here. She has a vendetta, and I'm not dealing with it because she has nothing. All right. So let's jump into politics here. We got some political workings. I mentioned at the top that the continuing resolution was killed over in the House with the help of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and basically all of X, because when they initially put out the deal 2 days ago, Speaker Johnson basically did what they always do. All the fucking SWAT monsters went into a room. They shoved shit in right before Christmas break. They put out an over 1,500 fucking page continuing resolution. And they basically handed it to all the fucking reps and said, hey, we're going to vote on this soon. Not the agreed upon 72 hours to read it, but hey, we're just going to do it. Now, unfortunately for Speaker Johnson, the internet exists now. And God, the internet sleuths went fucking crazy. And they found out all of the bullshit in there. Pay raises for senators and House of Reps. The fuck do they need pay raises for? Go the fuck home. You guys suck. You don't do anything. A bill that a part of it to continue the pandemic response, pay for it more, and maybe give the more powers to the government in term if there is another pandemic issue. No. There was a global thing, which was a censorship arm that they wanted to pay for. There was so much pork and bullshit. Money to build a stadium for the fucking Redskins. Get out of here with the shit that they were putting in there. And there was a massive backlash against it. And it got killed. And then apparently Trump got involved, worked with him, and gave back a 166-page continuing resolution. Now, that is being touted as a victory. Let's read Donald Trump's quote on it here. He writes on Truth, success in Washington. Speaker Mike Johnson and the House have come to a very good deal for the American people. The newly agreed to, The newly agreed to American Relief Act of 2024 will keep the government open, fund our great farmers and others, and provide relief for those severely impacted by devastating hurricanes. A very important piece, vital to the America First agenda, was added as well. The date of the very unnecessary debt ceiling will be pushed out 2 years to January 30th, 2027. Now we can make America great again very quickly, which is what the people gave us a mandate to accomplish. All Republicans and even Democrats should do what is best for the country and vote yes on the bill tonight. So there's that. Now, in my humble opinion, a continuing resolution is a loss in general because the government is still not doing their fucking jobs. And what is their job? Their job is to have separate spending bills and get us a budget. This CR is still just a CR until September. It is still just a spending bill that the government is going to stay open while still spending through the fucking roof, okay? I cannot consider this a victory. While there may be some important things in there that are helpful, these are all bills that should have been decided upon already. It should not have taken the 11th hour, because tomorrow's the deadline for the government shutdown. It should not have taken to the 11th hour to sit there and get this done. This is fucking terrible that this has to be here. So the bottom line is with this is that while he's touting it as a success, I don't see it as a success because it's CR, and to me, CRs are bullshit. If you cannot get your budget together, then you should shut down the government because you motherfuckers didn't do your job. Period. End of story. You did not do your job, and these continuing resolutions should be illegal because it's a bailout. So until you do your job, nobody should be allowed to bail themselves out. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's continue because there was a little bit of a battle previous to this. So I'm going to share this Truth Social post by Donald Trump again. The very unpopular congressman from Texas, Chip Roy, is getting in the way, as usual, of having yet another great Republican victory, all for the sake of some cheap publicity for himself. Republican obstructionists have to be done away with. The Democrats are using them, and we can't let that happen. Our country is far better off closing up for a period of time than it is agreeing to the things that the Democrats want to force upon us. Biden is president, and it's his obligation to properly lead. We're there to do the right thing, and we can't agree with what Biden and the Democrats are demanding. Weak and ineffective people like Chip have to be dismissed as being utterly unknowledgeable as to the ways of politics and as to making America great again. Put America first and go for the victory, even if it means shutting the government down for a period of time. We had an overwhelming victory just 4 weeks ago, and we're not going to let the Democrats forget it so quickly. Chip Roy responded pretty quickly to this. On X, he said, "My position is simple. I am not going to raise or suspend the debt ceiling, racking up more debt without significant and real spending cuts attached to it. I've been negotiating to that end. No apologies." And he tagged Donald Trump, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, and the Freedom Caucus. I do not like Trump attacking Chip Roy. I think Chip Roy is one of the better people in Congress. While I don't always agree with Chip, I think Chip's a pretty good conservative. And he took a conservative position here. And I don't know, and I said it on X, I have no idea what fucking vendetta Trump has against Chip Roy. But he needs to bury it. Because Chip could be an ally. Yes, you're not always going to agree with him. But to bash him, not the right way to go. And I support Trump mostly with the bullshit he does. This is not a good look for Trump. And I don't think Chip Roy is going to take it to heart. He's not the grudge type of guy because he's already talked positively about a lot of Trump's cabinet picks and working, making America great again. Like, he's been saying that a ton. And yes, people hold it against him. Yes, he did support Ron DeSantis. Yes, he did want Ron DeSantis to be president. But a lot of people supported other people, including Ron, for president, including Vivek, okay? It doesn't mean that we just fully dismissed him. Chip Roy has been a much better congressman than most. And I don't like the way Trump attacked him on this one. Nate G saying Crenshaw getting absolutely dominated next. He's getting dominated everywhere. Dan Crenshaw's a piece of shit. I'm not even going to go over his fucking tirade on CNN because he's a loser. Patch McCain needs to go away. And, you know, the people that keep voting for him, part of me wants to take away their right to fucking vote because fuck you guys. Go find somebody to primary him. Can't be that hard. But Dan Crenshaw is protected, right? He's going to get a ton of money from John Thune. He's going to get a ton of money from Speaker Johnson. I hope the people at the RNC are smart enough to tell him to fuck off, but I doubt they are. So he walks in with a massive war chest to any election that he's in. So that is what Crenshaw is going for him. So I'm happy that there seems to be a positive resolution here. I'm trying to figure out the vote. I mean, I don't know if it passed tonight. I guess we'll find out. But I mean, I hope it passed. I really hope it passed, but we'll see. We shall see. But I want to move on. We're going to keep talking about Trump because we also have good Trump here. Now, I can't remember if I talked about this or not yet, but Trump said on Truth, the Republican Party, and this was back on the 13th, the Republican Party will use its best efforts to eliminate daylight savings time, which has a small but strong constituency, but shouldn't. Daylight savings time is inconvenient and very costly to our nation. I like that he wants to get rid of daylight savings. I think daylight savings is fucking useless. It is, I mean, it's just bothersome and it's unneeded. And all it does is just it pisses everyone off. I have no idea why it's there. The original use of daylight savings time was during the war effort of World War I, so that they could get more daylight to get more power. And then most countries got rid of it after World War I, then was brought back during World War II. And then by FDR, it was Woodrow first, then FDR. And then it became a permanent fixture and it's fucking useless. We need to get rid of it. It doesn't do anything. I'd rather deal with one group and just one time and just let it rock. So that is good Donald Trump. Getting rid of daylight savings time is good Donald Trump. Now, like I just had an issue with Trump, I'm going to have an issue again. Here is bad Donald Trump. Trent Lacey, this is back on the 13th as well. Breaking, Trump expected to sign an executive order on day one, mandating voter ID, paper ballots, and one-day voting. So elections are, and the community note, elections are controlled by the states, not the federal government, per Article 1, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution. Signing an EO won't change anything. Now, that is wrong, honestly. EOs have a lot of weight, and it could change a lot. Now, this is where I may differ from a lot of Trump supporters. I hope he doesn't sign that executive order. I want elections to be secure. I want them to be fair. And I agree with the things that he wants. Voter ID, paper ballots, one-day voting. But doing it in a dictatorial way is not the way to do it. Trump sitting there and saying, I decree that this happens, is what a king does. It's what an authoritarian does. It's what a dictator does. And it would prove everything that the left has been trying to say about him. And I'm not here for it. I will push back against that hard. A president does not have the right, nor have a reason to, I don't know. He can't do this. Nachi says it always reminds me what it's like having to watch all your sports between 8 and 11 p.m. I mean, so when it comes to football, we have on Sunday, we have 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then it's 8 o'clock, 8:30 for Sunday night. Monday night's 8. Thursday's 8. I mean, it would be a shift, and I'm curious which way they would go, right? And, a lot of companies would have to adjust because Eastern Standard Time would be a little different. I don't know which way they would go, Nate. I don't know if they would come closer to you guys in Arizona or if they would, I don't know how it would affect time zones. Obviously, they'd have to figure out the fuck out. But, I mean, I've gotten used to it. I grew up with it. But yeah, back to this. I do not like Donald Trump doing this as an EO. I think it's different if he wants to go and use the bully pulpit and he wants to do speeches about it and he wants to ram and he wants to call states out that aren't doing it, and he wants to put pressure on them. That's what the bully pulpit's there for. And that's what that type of pressure is there for, so that he can now put that pressure on people at states to do it. That's part of being president. You have the bully pulpit, you use it. But to make a decree, because that's all that would be. It's not an EO, that's a decree, is wrong. And I would hope that the states that aren't doing that yet would push back against it. And I would support them. I'm here in New York. New York's fucked up. We have, what do we have? A week of early voting. You could do the mail-in. You could do early. You could do on same day. Or day. There's a lot. We are one of those states that does a little bit of everything. I would support New York and Kathy Hochul pushing back against it. I fucking hate Kathy Hochul. But I would absolutely support her pushing back against that executive order. Because that's not up for Donald Trump or the federal government to decide. Trump supporters that blindly just go along with whatever the fuck he wants to do not realize that when you federalize an election for us, you federalize it for the next presidents going forward. And what happens if JD Vance doesn't win? What happens if they run someone decent? They run a Ro Khanna. I know they probably won't because he's not left enough. But if they want to, you run a Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna's seems like a reasonable fucking guy. Don't agree with him. His voting record is still very left. But when he speaks, and he has some principled moments, he's someone that you can look at and go, he's not an idiot. I can rock with that guy sometimes. They run someone like him, there's gonna be a battle. Even if Trump has a good 4 years, JD's a great VP. It's not gonna be a cakewalk. It never is. So no, this is something that I would push back against and vocally push back against, and hope that all of my people who claim to be principled on the quote unquote right would push back against it, because this is not the way. This is not how we do things. All right. So now back to good Trump, funny Trump here. And Trump lately, excuse me, Trump lately has been trolling Justin Trudeau since he met with him about calling him Governor Trudeau and wanting to add Canada as the 51st state. So here is a X by him yesterday, not X, a truth by him yesterday from Trump. No one can answer why we subsidize Canada to the tune of over $100 million a year. Makes no sense. Many Canadians want Canada to become the 51st state. They would save massively on taxes and military protection. I think it's a great idea. 51st state. And I just love this. Trudeau is in disarray. He could be resigning any day. They're probably going to have to call an election. Pierre Poilievre's probably going to run for the Conservatives, who I'm not a massive fan of. I think he's kind of a bitch. He talks tough. He says the right things, but when you need him, he's kind of still central. He's definitely getting a Nigel Farage type of look, where when you need him, he's not there. When you don't need him, he talks tough. So I don't know. Pierre Poilievre would definitely be an upgrade, 100% over Justin Trudeau. But it seems like either he's going to resign or we're going to see a new election. I think the vote of no confidence is coming from Canada. But this is hilarious shit. This is when I like Trump, because he's quite literally just trolling another world leader. Exactly what he did to Kim Jong-un, where he was just sunning him. He is sunning Justin Trudeau in every which way. And this has ramifications that I don't think people realize, because while we laugh at it as Americans, Canadians see what he's saying. Trudeau has not really responded. Victoria Nuland stepped down. Victoria Nuland's a massive player on the Globalist. She was like the finance officer, number 2 in Canada. She stepped down. She's a massive player. She's on the board of the WEF. She's been involved in color revolutions around the world, stirring them up. She's a really important globalist player. She left the Canadian government. Trudeau's on his own. It's going to be interesting to see him with Donald Trump just belittling this man left and right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Canada. Donald Trump could be affecting another nation in a massive way, because you would have to say if Trudeau resigns, or if there's a vote of no confidence and he loses a vote, a lot of it will be on the Canadians seeing their leader getting trolled in public and doing generally nothing, saying generally nothing. So we'll see what goes on in that, but I found that to be funny Trump. Here is something that pisses me off. I'm not going to read the whole article. This to me is wild. So Fox Business reported this, I believe this was yesterday. Teamsters Union, it's today, the 19th. Teamsters Union launches historic nationwide strike against Amazon, paying the price. So I'll do a quick summary. Amazon Teamsters at 7 facilities: Illinois, New York City, Atlanta, San Francisco, SoCal. Participating in the largest strike against trillion-dollar company and against the trillion-dollar company in American history. Union said in its news release, workers and other facilities are prepared to join them. So my first reaction to this: how can you not fucking hate these people? We are sitting here in the Christmas season, and Amazon and these asshole workers there have killed all the box stores, basically. They have pigeonholed us into using their service. And now they want to strike? Because it's going to be effective. It's during Christmas, and we could blame Amazon if we derail. No. We are going to blame who the blame belongs on. At least I am. The leaders of the Teamsters are pieces of shit. Anyone that participates in this strike is a piece of shit. Okay? Because you're selfish. I was a part of a union. You should fight for your rights. But let's be realistic about unions, especially a lot of these ones that we're talking about. They're greedy. We saw the port workers strike. Their agreement was fucking stupid. Unions may be out of place a while ago when the abuses were rampant, and they might still have a place today. But with the way they are currently situated, they suck. Because all they do, all the leaders do, all these fucking commie bastards do is get in the workers' ears and get in the dumbest workers' ears and make those idiots who are frequent be the loudest. And then you know what they do? They do this type of shit. They affect you and me. Want us to get mad at Amazon, which a bunch of morons will, right? Because Amazon's the rich guy. They get mad at the rich guy. But in reality, it's the Teamsters that are fucking things up. And what are they going to do? They're going to ask for something outlandish, and they're going to start pricing themselves out. That's all it's going to be. They're going to price themselves out. Because as this goes on, what's Amazon going to do? They're going to innovate. They're going to figure out a way to get fucking robots to replace these people. It's a warehouse. They're going to figure it out, or because they're going to be forced to. People forget Amazon, Jeff Bezos is also a madman like Elon Musk. He's not going to waste money with these people. If he strikes a deal, he's just going to lay off half of them. And then he's going to figure it the fuck out. Because he's not going to pay what these people want. They might win, but that win is going to be a loss. And this is what the current itineration of unions do. They price people out. I warned about it. I was in a construction union. And my book is still open there. And if they watch this, they might not want me back. I don't give a fuck. But overall, I've always warned. Because you get to negotiations, you want this, that, you talk to the businesses. And what is it? It's always more money in the pocket. And it's not just only the cost of living. I understand the 3% general cost of living raise. You want that, right? Because you want to be able to keep living. Understandable. But then when you start going above that and you go above it consistently, and you get so much more expensive than the people who aren't unionized, why would they want you? You price yourselves out. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. Let me see if there's anything more interesting here. Teamsters says it represents about 10,000 people across 10 Amazon facilities in the U.S. The company doesn't recognize the workers' affiliation with the union. Amazon's telling them to fuck off. Amazon says Teamsters is intentionally misleading the public because they don't represent Amazon employees and drivers. Company spokesperson Kelly Nantle said in a statement in Fox Business. So that's tricky there. That is tricky. Because if they choose to collectively bargain, I don't know if the company can do anything about it. And I don't know if the workers would then have a legal case, because if they choose to collectively bargain and unionize, I mean, it's always difficult. That gets into a more difficult spot. So I'm more interested to see that going on. There's another quote here. For more than a year now, the Teamsters had continued to intentionally mislead the public, claiming that they represent thousands of Amazon employees and drivers. They don't. And this is another attempt to push a false narrative, Nantle said. The truth is that the Teamsters have actively threatened, intimidated, and attempted to coerce Amazon employees and third-party drivers to join them, which is illegal and the subject of multiple pending unfair labor practice charges against the union. Nantel said the company does not expect any impact on our operation. So here's the thing. If there is an impact, once again, don't blame Amazon. Blame the Teamsters Union. That's it. Just blame the Teamsters Union because they're the ones that are trying to cause hubbub. And let's be honest, most of these people are Marxist. They're leftist. Workers unite. Like, get the fuck out of here, right? They are just trying to fight the capitalist man. That's all that's going on here. There's a spokesperson, Cara Denise, responded to a statement saying that the company is gaslighting the American public with their false narratives. The truth is, over 20 bargaining units representing nearly 9,000 employees has successfully organized because for many years the company has exploited and abused workers, and these workers are fed up and fighting back. No matter how massive Amazon's corporate PR machine is, they cannot fool the American public into believing drivers delivering Amazon packages in Amazon-branded vans don't actually work for Amazon, Denise continued. No one believes this nonsense. Amazon needs to stop avoiding their legal obligation to these workers and get to the bargaining table now. Now, again, I'm interested to see how this works out in that sense because I don't know the legal ramifications of if the employees want to unionize, what happens. Again, they said that the strike comes after they ignored the December 15th deadline to negotiate new contracts. They're blaming Amazon. Greedy executives every chance to show decency and respect for people who make their obscene profits possible. Again, class warfare, right? This is us versus them mentality. Said they push workers to the limit, and now they're paying the price of strikes on them. In reality, guys, Amazon gives thousands of people around the country decent paying jobs, and they work hard. Don't get me wrong. Warehouse worker, they work their fucking ass off. But they give thousands of people decent paying jobs with benefits. If you become a driver, you make great money. And there's a reason why a lot of people go to work for Amazon or for UPS or FedEx, right? These like delivery type things because they pay well. And there is a chance of making a good money, making a good career. And all these unions do is stir up controversy and bullshit. Let's see. I don't care about any of this stuff. The rest of this is whatever. We'll see how this plays out. But again, if your package is delayed, I encourage you to be mad at the union. Less than Amazon. I'm curious what the legal ramifications are from this. And we'll see if Amazon doesn't come to the table. And the thing is here, if they don't recognize the union, can they just lay off all these people and hire new ones? There's plenty of people itching to come to Amazon. And again, you'd have a class action lawsuit. Amazon's got the money to fight it. So I'm curious where this goes because the bottom line is, especially for Amazon, there's people waiting. A lot of them. A lot of people want to work at Amazon. It's a decent paying job. And they put up with a lot of shit as far as I've heard. So we'll see. We have an Amazon distributor right in our backyard. And I've heard that, you have hard workers and you have shitty workers like everything else. And they put up with the shitty workers a lot. So we'll see there. All right. I want to jump to this story real quick because Trump has talked about creating a Bitcoin reserve. And Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, has been fully against Donald Trump. So let's see. Is this one sharing? Nope. Boom. Has been fully against Donald Trump. And this is just another part of the battle. So right here, Yahoo Finance, The Street, Fed Chair Jerome Powell says we're not allowed to own Bitcoin amid Trump's push for Bitcoin strategic reserve. The Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has ruled out the possibility of the central bank adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet, citing legal restrictions under the Federal Reserve Act. So remind everyone what the Federal Reserve is. It is a series of banks, major banks, 5 of them, I believe, that are the reserve banks of the country. They're not actually a federal arm. They are not government. They are private companies that basically act as the piggy bank and backup for the United States government were shit to hit the fan. They are the reason why your mortgage rate's what they are. They have a lot of sway in the stock market with what they say. So that is who they are. Powell addressed this during a 19th conferences, emphasizing December 19th that the Fed is not pursuing any legislative changes to the position. He said, "We're not allowed to own Bitcoin. The Federal Reserve Act says what we can own, and we're not looking for law changes," Powell said. "That's the kind of thing for Congress to consider, but we are not looking for a law change at the Fed." Now, again, here's one thing. It doesn't fucking matter what Jerome Powell wants. If Trump decides to use the bully pulpit and to use his power of the presidency to get a bill into Congress to make an amendment to that, then a Bitcoin reserve currency will be created. Jerome Powell is flat out said, "I'm not going anywhere. He can't remove me by law, blah, blah, blah." He's just being an obstructionist asshole. Bottom line. And this is another way he wants to do it, where a lot of people are behind a Bitcoin reserve because we see the American dollar is struggling. They've gone so far off the gold standard that the American dollar is not what it used to be. And there may need to be another reserve that comes into play. So Bitcoin faces first drop in 4 days following Powell's comments and a more cautious tone from the Federal Reserve. Bitcoin fell 5.9% to 100,605, retreating from its record-breaking 108,000 on December 18th. So it dipped a little. It lost almost a little over $7,000 in terms of its pay. The global cryptocurrency market also dropped, with its market capitalization falling to 3.67 trillion, a 7.6% drop in the last 24 hours. Other cryptocurrencies hit hard. Ethereum, XRP, and Solana recorded losses from 4% to 11%. On Wednesday, Federal Reserve cut rates by a quarter point, bringing the target range from 4.25 to 4.5. Stocks reacted negatively too. S&P dropped 0.4. Jones Industrial Average losing 100 points, making its 10th consecutive loss. He noted that the rate policy is now significantly less restrictive after a full percentage point reduction since its peak. Future cuts in 2025 would depend on economic. So here's the thing too, and what you have to look for. Powell's fully against Trump. He is going to try and manipulate the markets so that they hurt Trump, period. That is what they did in his first 4 years. That's what they're going to do in his next 4 years. Jerome Powell is going to try and do everything he can to get away and make sure that he can. I'm not going to go through this full article. I just wanted to bring up that when you are looking at people who, don't give a shit, you're looking at Jerome Powell. They're trying to protect their own. They are not trying to do what's in the best benefit of America. They don't care. They don't care. They want to make sure that the 5 banks that they serve are staying liquid and are staying on top. And they serve the uniparty. They don't serve Donald Trump and the disruptors. Jerome Powell has been against him forever. And we'll see. Trump may try to figure out a way to get him the fuck out of there. And I would not blame him. Because Jerome Powell is an asshole. Period. And I hope that Trump can get an amendment to that act, the Federal Reserve Act, and force this asshole to make a Bitcoin reserve. I'm not massive in crypto. I don't know much about Bitcoin, but fuck this guy. Why should he play God? Okay? There's no reason why we are letting this guy play God. He was put there to make the best decisions possible, and he obviously does not want to do that. All right. Last thing I want to talk about tonight is something I didn't think I'd be talking about. And probably if David was here, we wouldn't be talking about it. But I want to. So let's put this right here. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, good. Read what the fuck happened in 1971.com. AKA went off the gold standard. Yeah, it's Nixon. Honestly, it was Nixon's fault. Nixon's the one that pulled us off the gold standard. I don't know why he did that. To be quite honest, it was definitely detrimental to everything that we have seen now. The stock market is now inflated and false. Our dollar is taking a hit for it. But yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I want to jump to this story though. The last story here. Unfortunately, it's about Nick Fuentes. Now, I have no love for Nick Fuentes. I think the Groypers are a bunch of morons. The America First movement that they're doing is false. They are I call them leftists. They're not even on the right. They're not even fringe right people. They are a bunch of losers that are in the Groypers. They're very strange people, and they attack everyone. But Nick Fuentes has found a way to make himself sympathetic. He posts on X, the killer parked his car in front of my house and approached my door with his pistol drawn and what appears to be a crossbow. I was live streaming at the time. He rings the doorbell and tries the doorknob and yells, Nick. Let's throw this up here because this is fucking creepy, okay? The guy has a crossbow, wearing a biker helmet. You see a gun there. Saw someone in the comments possibly saying it's a Reaper. I'm not a gun guy. But Nick Fuentes is recording this for 30 seconds here, and then there's another video. Now, I don't know if this guy's been arrested. When I see shit like this, I question how real it is, to be quite honest. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. All right, that was the 30. Here's the other 30 seconds following. If this guy quite literally was hoping Nick Fuentes opened up his door to shoot him and kill him and hit him with a fucking crossbow, which is weird, then I hope he goes to jail for a long time. Because Nick Fuentes is a piece of shit. Not a good dude. His whole bunch of goipers and
Yo, Nick.
You see him say, yo, Nick there. It's a terrible movement with shitty people. That guy also needs to tie his left shoe. But this shouldn't be happening. Fuentes is an absolute glowy. Yes, he is. Thank you for that, Nate. Nate, he was killed by cops, also suspect in a triple homicide that same day. Oh, I didn't know that he was killed by cops. I mean, the guy's obviously fucking crazy, if that's the case, off his rocker. But this shouldn't be happening to anyone, whether it's Nick Fuentes or anyone at that. Just because Nick Fuentes is an asshole, just because Nick Fuentes says a lot of shit that nobody agrees with, he shouldn't be threatened at his own home. He shouldn't be killed. Now, the doxing is bad. They need to get that under control. And I'll say this, Nick Fuentes, I know you're probably not a poor guy. You should probably move. Get the fuck out. You're in Illinois, I believe. Get out of there. What are you doing? You're not even in a state free enough to defend yourself. Get the fuck out of there. I don't know if he can, because he has that legal stuff possibly going against him when he pepper sprayed the chick. I don't know what happened with that. But get out of there. Go to a state where you could defend yourself, at least. At least. And maybe you won't be doxxed. Like, get yourself away from there. I don't know. But this shouldn't be happening. This is wrong. It's sad that people come to this point where they have to do things like this. And I'm not one of those people. It's like mental health is a societal issue. It kind of is, but it's because kids have been getting fucked up for the last 20, 30 years with the bullshit that we've been talked about, that we've been told. You're told consistently that the world's ending. You're told consistently that as a kid, you have to do something about it. Whether it's global warming, whether it's ice caps melting, whether it's all this shit. Now kids are being crazy shit with the fucking queer stuff being forced down their and all the critical theories, and we had PC stuff going on. It's like, yes, kids are fucked up and they're growing up to be fucked up adults, and they're doing shit like this because the adults have abused them for years. And this shouldn't be happening. Again, Nick Fuentes is a moron, but even a moron should be able to be in his home without being harassed. And I mean, this is now the second time in so many weeks that Nick has been harassed at his home. People need to stop going to Nick Fuentes' home. But unfortunately, Nick is in a state where he can't even defend himself properly. And he needs to rectify that. Again, Nick, I don't know your financial situation. I know you have a very successful live stream. You're probably bringing in some money from that. So get the fuck out of there. Save yourself. That's the last thing I'll say about that. And that's also the last thing that I'll say on this live stream. I'm happy I did this, and I'm fucking back a little bit. I need to be more organized, guys. I need to be better about when I'm gathering up stories to get them on my little itinerary list that I keep, and forcing myself to come down here, not falling asleep on my kids when I'm putting my kids down to sleep. and being more motivated for everyone, because I have a fucking blast doing this. Nate, having you chit chatting with me is always good. David will eventually be popping back up, and I might be asking some other people to jump on and do some, talk about some stories and stuff with me as well. But I can't do that unless I'm more consistent. So I need to be better about that. I don't know if we're going to see a guest until well after the new year come on, because the way it's fall this year, you have Christmas on a Wednesday, which is when we normally record. Christmas Eve on Tuesday. We have New Year's Day Wednesday, New Year's Eve obviously, and things like that. So I'm not trying to go crazy and really work around a crazy schedule, having people here and there. It was dope enough having Jennifer Say on last week. Again, thank you for the stuff, Jennifer. We love you here. And hopefully just continuing doing stuff like this, even if they're shorter, even if I only have a few stories. Um, I'm going to try not to be a lazy piece of shit, but I can't promise anything, anyone. So once again, appreciate everyone who watched, whether you're on X, Facebook, YouTube, Kick. We appreciate it all. Go do your due diligence there. Find us at the Alex Cuesta Show everywhere. We are there. And if you listened on podcast form, thank you. Leave a review, leave a good rating. We would appreciate all that. And overall, spread this word of mouth. Let everyone know we're here and that we appreciate them all. So everyone, thank you so much. Nate G with the enjoy those babies while they're babies. Thank you. I appreciate it. They're 6 and 4 and they're growing too damn fast, but I will enjoy them. I'll have a blast, but hopefully not at the expense of the show, because I do enjoy doing this. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow, but I can't promise anything. I'm really shitty sometimes. All right, everyone. So long, y'all.